Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Who's Talk, where conversations get deep and intellectual. Y'all know me. I'm Artemis Caldwell, founder and CEO of one of the most dangerous, one of the most popular, it's growing, it's coming, nonprofits out there, Who Is Incorporated. We just had some jump free Saturday, come out, clean up, you know what I'm saying, help out the community. We out here, we trying to change the world. But y'all, enough about me. Y'all already know I got a special guest for you. St. Louis native, master of the pen, ladies and gentlemen, host of, I don't know for, what we say, 11 years off just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Like, professionally, like, do his thing. Enough said. Everybody y'all know, Louis Conphliction.
What's going on?
Yeah, bro. So for real, this is just a part of the segment where we just get to know people and see what it is that you really do behind. Oh, let me say this: why it is that you do, and start picking your brain out and see why it is you do what you do. So yeah, so we talking about poetry. The poetry scene in St. Louis. Super big. I know it means a lot to you like it do to me. And honestly, bro, you one of my, I know I expressed it to you off stage, but like off air, you are really one of my inspirations to write. Like for St. Louis, like I feel like if somebody be like, hey man, who y'all got? Like I feel like you, J Love, like y'all like really like inspired me to like bring it. You know what I mean? Like so if I don't bring it, not like I feel like I let y'all down, but it just be like, man, I don't know how else to deliver my stuff if not dope, because of the simple fact, y'all dope. So, you know, just like I was in a conversation how they talk about like everybody want to be from Atlanta, you know how that wave was booming. And it was just like everybody got that Atlanta pride and stuff like that. I just feel like St. Louis pride, we got y'all, you know.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no 2 Chainz, but it's alright. It's cool.
St. Louis has some real history, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And before Atlanta was booming, which Atlanta is booming.
It is.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little booming going on. St. Louis still has the notoriety and the history, like a rich history of artists. So I appreciate it. Yeah, I really appreciate it. You just be out here, you know what I'm saying? Out here making your art, doing what you do. You really don't know how it's going to affect anyone. Sometimes you feel like a weirdo for doing what you're doing or saying what you're saying, but you got to say what you got to say because it's the art.
Who else
you got to
gonna say
do? Yeah.
So
who's going to give your perspective the way that you can?
I feel
Even if you're giving somebody else's perspective.
True, because a lot of like poetry I feel is written in like third person.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not exactly what we have done or what we do.
Mm.
It's just a story that play out in our head and I want to tell it.
Yeah.
You know, I might put myself up in it, you know, some real events, but I'm not talking about myself, you know. So, leading into that, how long have you been writing?
Been writing probably since I was like 13, 14. Yeah. That's when I started writing. Started writing for the church. My pastor asked me to write a poem. And because I was already helping write the music, write some of the songs, and like, yeah.
Because you sing too.
Yeah.
Damn good.
Been doing youth ministry stuff, bro.
Youth ministry and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was a youth minister at the church. I was a teenager at the church 3-4 days a week.
Okay.
And my pastor asked me to write a poem for, it was a ministry at the park day. We were at the park, reaching out to the community.
Okay.
And he was like, I want you to get on the stage and read a poem.
freshman year.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, because you said 13, 14, that's what, 8th grade?
Yeah, 8th grade, freshman year.
Yeah. Okay. So you trying something new?
Yeah, so I wrote the poem and performed it. I didn't know that was performing it, so I'll just say I wrote the poem and I read it.
Yeah, right, okay.
And yeah, the crowd enjoyed it. It went over really well. And then I didn't write again for like 4 years or something like that.
Dang.
I was just feeling like, pastor said write a poem, I wrote a poem.
And then that was it.
And it went well. Yeah, that wasn't, I had always like songs and like lyrics and stuff like that.
So were you did you focus more on singing than you did poetry at first? Or?
No, I actually focused on rapping the most.
Really?
When I first started making music at like 15, I was with my dad worked at the flea market. He was doing security at the flea market, Fryston Flea Market. And I met my brother Jabari, and he had his own studio in the flea market, just a little box, you know, where he would record and do his stuff, and that kind of like sparked the love for like music, hip hop. I always loved music, but like just not even just rapping, but like the creation of rap. Like before, I always liked it, but I wouldn't spit. So then I used to, after that, seeing people come in the booth and going and making little songs and little bops with Jabari, it was just like, it became embedded.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. And that's how it be. That's how the coaches start. Like, okay, all right, it's tight. All right. Because I be to like, not like that, but like I be feeling like I could be a rapper, but again, I appreciate the beats, the music, the creativity behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's always just like, that's what I feel like people in music today are missing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's again, because you just hear the same, right, and it's just like, alright, that's cool. Like lyrics.
I don't know. I think that when people say like music today, like they just talking about like mainstream music, because it's a lot of other music out there. And then if you look at mainstream music, like yeah, some of this stuff is juvenile. You know what I'm saying? But these kids, they're figuring out a way to express themselves in a manner that they know how, and like some of this stuff you can't take away from them. Like their natural colloquialisms, the way they make slang up and the way we make slang up and we made slang up is completely different. And that's but we just looking at it like slang, but no, that's their usage of metaphor. You know what I'm saying? So you can get a little baby song where this little guy is saying 2-3 different things, where 2 different things per bar that means something else. And even if they just said I had a little bop, took a little dip, she had a little drip, you know, even what it is, but that's still 3 metaphors before the first bar done. So it's like you can't be taking, you know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta let people live. It's like every generation doesn't like the next generation's music as much. Like that happens every time. It's like, but they gonna sauce anyway. Like they gonna sauce anyway.
Yeah, most definitely. Poetry. You was telling me the difference between spoken word and slam poetry.
Yeah.
Like it's like now we just identifying the sauce within the within the two.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, spoken word poetry is more like based on like oral tradition, and a spoken word poem can be a slam poem. A slam poet can be spoken word poetry, but the difference is that slam has scores and judging. So when you're writing for a slam, you're writing under a different scope than saying just free writing. Okay. So my spoken word poem may be a complete free writing. Come on with it, rhymes and the way
audience.
Yeah.
For y'all to critique this.
Writing it not only for judgment, but writing it for a score.
As you were saying to
Slam poetry, it's more so figuring out like how to say what you want to say, or I guess how to come across. Whereas it's like if it was a Venn diagram of slam poetry and spoken word, they would interlap close.
Right.
But there would still be different effects.
Okay.
Because ultimately, like if you look at, it's still people speaking, it's still speaking from writing, it's still writing from art. Like those things exist the same. But writing competitively is different.
I would feel like that would add more pressure to me because, like, just as a writer, because now I'm writing. Like, once I get in that zone, like, I ain't never had nobody judge my writing before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh man, I know how I feel about my writing, but now I feel like slam is more about delivery.
Mm-hmm.
To where, like, alright man, if I can't deliver this the right way, excuse me, no matter what I say or no matter what I write, it ain't gonna come off. Like I heard somebody say that Fred the Godson, rest in peace, man. He died to corona, but before he passed, it was in the interview. It's like Tupac made reference to Tupac. Tupac made like said or wrote things like third graderish or low level, but how he said it made everything. So it was just like his delivery was just the sauce within itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this again was just by somebody who like again was in the game and like just watched him evolve. You see what I'm saying? So it was just like, man. So now asking, alright, slams, because slams you can get money from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's competition. Yeah, you can make money from slams. You can also win enough slams to where you can book shows. There's a slam circuit. So like, if you're trying to travel, like slam is great. There's youth slam, Brave New Voices, and things like that. So
are they still going?
Yeah, St. Louis just won.
Really?
Oh, St. Louis, our baby just won, bro.
Turn up. All right.
Yeah.
How can someone like, okay, like I'm a novice, I don't know too much, I'm just getting into the poetry game. Do I find a coach, or how do I get to starting out my rap? How do I start trying to make this into a career? Like, did you go to school?
Not for this, no.
No. Okay. So
it just kind of happened, but it came from school. I was at UMSL, and my mentor M.K. Stallings asked me to host a poetry night, and it ended up being the longest running open mic in St. Louis.
Shout out.
It was at Legacy. Yeah, so it came from school, but no, I didn't go to school for this. I never expected to be doing this. Just kind of everything just happened. Like it took me like 2-3 years like booking shows as a poet before I like was okay with people calling me a poet. I ain't a poet. I'm just a nigga that writes something.
And I just go up there and say something and then sit back down.
I just have thoughts that I had thunk, and then I'd be thinking them thoughts. And then I tell you the thoughts that I thunk when I thought.
Okay. So what was so poetry wasn't the plan. What was the plan?
Helping the community. That was pretty much much the plan. I wanted to be a doctor at first. I went to high school and graduated with like my CNA license because I went through like a little pre-med joint. And just being in the, I guess, the healthcare field, I think I'm just too sensitive for it. There's a lot of, I just think I'm too sensitive for it. So
can't like dead bodies and all that.
Well, no, it's not the bodies. It's more so how the people that are hurting are treated. And there's a certain numbness there. Rightfully so and understandably so, because you can't be sensitive to everybody, especially with the amount of stress that they're under.
True.
It just wasn't like just knowing me, I'm too sensitive for that.
I feel that like the lady who passed, everybody who get a grant. You get one. And I mean, you came in with not like with a side story, but you get one too, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel that, I feel that, but it is hard working with the community too, though.
Yeah, but nah, it's like, I don't know. If you can treat everybody like they're human, then it gets a lot more simple.
True. That is true.
And I mean, like, let's just see your reflection in people. And nobody thinks the same. And like, nobody has the same day, same anything. So it's like, sometimes there are some times where some people, they get mad and angry, loud and all those things. But if you just treat them like, and not even like you want to be treated, but just treating them like they're a human. Just treat them like, I know that I don't know exactly what you need in this moment, but I do know what I'm here for, and this is in servitude. This is supposed to be service. So what's going on? And no matter how mad they be, they can't deal with that for too long. It's just like, I don't have to escalate the moment. I don't have to put more energy out there. It's like, yo, you came here. You need this help. So let me help you. Help me help you. Like, let's go ahead and get this cracking. It's like, well, I didn't like, I understand. We're not there right now. Now we're right back on cue. So let's get it going.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's, honestly, man, you really gonna love it. The reason why I say Who Is one of the most popping and most dangerous non-profit organizations out there is because that's what we stand for.
Yeah.
Like, just more so on the tip, the message behind Who Is, when I created it, I was 21. The message behind Who Is what we are doesn't define us. Our circumstances aren't our choice. We all need help. Change won't come unless we help each other the right way. Every day, someone is born with their eyes closed, and I believe together we can change that. And when the world asks who, what would you say? Like you said, like, hey, bro, I'm just a dude just up there writing. I ain't no poet for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, to me, when the world asks, like, hey, why you doing what you doing? I'm not nobody important, but I just feel somebody gotta do it. And then on top, it's just in service of the people. Like, hey, man, it's so many things that tell you St. Louis bad. How so? When we live in here, when we pumping out positive energy, there's no hostility. Hey, man, I do this just out of the kindness of my heart. I'm just a nice guy. Oh, man, for real, like 2 traveling monks. You know what I'm saying? That's it. We just going through life and just passing by. Hey, man, you tight, I'm tight. Namaste. You know what I mean? And it's just like, alright. So, and that's how I look at a lot of people in life. Just more so on the tip. I'm everybody's best friend. You know?
I ain't everybody's best friend. I just try to keep it to where I ain't. If I'm your enemy, I don't know it. And that is a very odd space to live in. And
see, and that's, I got these golden rules for myself. Don't go around making trouble. You know what I mean? Like, it's all just about like personal accountability. So with that being said, like, Alright, man, you ain't been doing this for, 11 years. You done traveled all across the country doing poetry. You done stumbled into it. You a giver. So community activism, that's you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now leading all up into that, you've done so much. Give me one word to describe your life all the way up until now. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Expansive.
Everything started off as a diamond. Everything is gone.
What would you tell your younger self? 18, coming straight out of high school. I'm finna go to college. I'm finna help the people.
I would tell myself, play the fucking guitar. Yeah, that's probably what I would tell myself. Outside of, it's okay to think. Like I don't know. Like, is it like? Would you say like one thing?
Yeah.
You weren't wrong. If I could have gotten that by the space that I'm in now, I think that it's not even a measure of my own happiness. I think that I might have been less bothersome to others.
Okay.
I'm sensitive, and I go through big waves of emotion, you know. So
as artists do.
There's been times where my sadness is troublesome to other people, you know, and it's like I don't know, that's something that I feel like if I could have caught that I wasn't wrong before I had to go through the experiment before I had to go through the experiment to prove myself right that I wasn't wrong. If I could have just told myself then before it happened, you wasn't wrong, then I'd be okay. Like, I feel like some of these things wouldn't have happened in the measure that they happen. They're going to happen. They're going to need to happen. So, you know, ultimately, I would just tell myself, keep loving. But, yeah, everything that I've gone through is something that was completely necessary. But it's like, if you have this idea of, like, the perfect life and what you could have done, it's like, well, with everything that would have went better for me, I was taking away a lesson that I learned from the struggle, which in turn meant that I was going to be spoiled and was going to have to learn a different lesson for the same struggle.
Right.
So it's like, damn, I could have, like, I want to tell myself everything, but still can't tell myself
too much.
Yeah.
I feel like the little time paradox.
Yeah.
I got you. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel that. I got one more question for you. Well, not really. We just talking.
Yeah.
As a man, we hold ourselves to a certain standard. My dad, shout out Ronell Hudson, real big influence in my life. Always preached to me and taught to me like morals and values. Always do the right thing. Always be the bigger man. So like whenever situation, you can hold your head up high. Let your pride go. Like always help people. Like for real. And it's just like, so that's why I just look at some people like, it's bizarre to me for them to behave and do things a certain way, because it just be like, I wasn't raised that way. Or not even to say I wasn't raised, but again, it's just to even think on your own now. Mm-hmm. Like just the morals and principles that like I've been instilled with just make sense to me.
But that, like, it's like two words at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You said those moral principles, then you said instill. Yeah. Instill. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I feel that.
So it's like, I don't get why they don't get it, but it's like, this is what's instilled in me. But
yeah, and
it hasn't been instilled in them. So, and then you don't know what has been instilled in them. And you don't know what the two things that happen with both of y'all is going to clash with each other's instillment.
True. And I mean to say, like, I understand, but I just be like, man, there's so much going on with the world acting like this. You have to see that there's a better way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to see we shouldn't be speeding on the highway, jumping from lane to lane. Like, don't get me wrong. Live your life to the fullest. Do you? Amazing. But as my father would say, a man that don't stand for something will fall for anything. You know?
I think that any of the ways that the things are getting dangerous out here comes from a lack of value, which usually comes from a lack of self-value, because if you don't value yourself, it makes it difficult to understand principles and value things outside of yourself. So, yeah, man, like, I don't know, like, sometimes we do things, you know, and like ultimately the thing that's weird to me is that like we all tend to break a same group of principles, right? Whether it be like lying or procrastinating or whatever these things is, you know, like the base principles, because like lying breaks down like cheating and you know what I'm saying? So like, and it's like I'm not doing these things, so it's okay for me to do these things.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, but it's not okay if anybody else does these things to me. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like it gets weird when we externalize this projection. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that people are, these are just reactions of life. And sometimes you're thinking about the shit way harder than they are. You're like, look at this motherfucker speeding down the road. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this motherfucker like, oh shit, this song is great. They ain't even, you know. But, or you like, look at this motherfucker speeding down the road, and the motherfucker like, oh shit, I gotta get there. There's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're all of those different factors. It doesn't really even serve a purpose to be like, look at that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. You know, I hope that you get there safe. I hope that you don't hurt nobody.
And that's how and with that, like, all I do is just shake my hand and be like, man, I hope you get there, bro. I hope whatever you got, I hope it's worth it, because again, I just feel to endanger everyone else's life.
Yeah, I ain't super zen, bro. It only happen, like, especially if somebody in the car that I care about, I'll lose it.
Hey, I feel that. I feel that. I most definitely feel that.
Ain't nothing worse than when you have to swallow it real fast. Mother!
Man, look.
You gotta melt all the way back down. All right. Yeah, all right.
Hey, look. Okay, so give me 5 things you stand for.
5 things I stand for. I stand for love. I stand for equality. I stand for acceptance. I stand for my people. And I stand for art. I guess I can stop there. Yeah.
Love, acceptance. Love, equality, acceptance. Your people. Art. You can see that. You see that part. And the poetry.
I had to throw up me 6 man on her. I just thought communication.
Communication.
Yeah.
Okay. What about communication? Just
the possibility of it.
I feel like as poets, my love for the art is so deep. I feel that we were the first historians.
Yeah, real.
You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't have language without us. You know what I'm saying? And it's more so on the tip of like, when people say like, oh, rapping and poetry like the same, I actually get offended. Because that's one, I just feel like, again, that's like saying slam and spoken word. Like, I just feel with rapping, the level of it is you writing to a beat. You know what I'm saying? I'm writing it like to speak over a beat. Versus with poetry, I'm just like you say, I'm just writing. Like, I might have a message behind it, but like I make it write a book about it. Like there's books of poetry. You can't say it's a book of raps. You know what I mean? Like you can, but it's
yeah. I mean, like the thing is, the prose is like the hook. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
and these things are these things can be seen. You know. And it's really one thing, like it's really to do with just the perspective on art, you know?
Yeah.
Because rap can be poetry, and rap is poetry, because rap is what? Rhythm and poetry, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't take away from like the history and be offended. Like, no, it's not, you know, because it says in it, it says in it what it is.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of raps where if you took that beat away, you took that hook away, or you just read it at no particular cadence, you would see the poetry in it. If you never knew, let's say that I take 5 rappers, you know what I'm saying? I take Black Thought, Mos Def, who else we got? Black Thought, Mos Def, Andre 3000, Kanye West, and
Super Duper Cat. If you want to throw that in there, one of my favorites. Or you can say Kendrick or Cole.
Yeah, we'll say Kendrick. Like, each one of these artists, each one of these artists, you can take away the beat and you can just read the words. And if you didn't know, if no one said, there we go, that's how you say it. If someone hands you this piece of paper with these words on it and they don't tell you what it is, and you start to read that, what would you think it is?
You'd just be like, alright, it's just a piece.
The way that we read, if you start to see rhyming words, you're going to be like, okay, this is a poem.
Okay. Hence the name rap. Gotcha. Alright. Look, I ain't never know that.
It's all good, brother.
Put me up on game real quick. Yeah, see?
I just put you up on my perspective. I had some old head as a poet, like, I see what you said. Then one of my old MCs was, actually, no, I'm just joking.
Yeah,
They know the truth.
Man, because that's dope. But may be done picking your brain, bro. You one interesting fella, man. It's good to be from a land where not necessarily we gotta show each other love, but it's good to be from a land where, hey, we from St. Louis, bro, and they say stuff like this ain't supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? They say you supposed to get shot or just something drastic. As soon as you say, especially two black men got together and had just not necessarily deep intellectual conversation, but just more so shared each other's thoughts. You know what I mean? And it was just like, okay. And we was just like, hey, this how this go. You put me up on game. Hey, I listen. You teaching. You know what I'm saying? And it's fair exchange, no robbery.
Yeah.
You know, and I just feel as our culture, just going back to what you say you stand for, black culture, let's try to reiterate and bring back the trust within ourselves. So that's what Who Is really try to tackle. Like, I really try to get on and try to say, like, hey, ain't no such thing as difference between us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, if all of us treat each other like we're human, then I believe, you know, we'll be cool.
Yeah, it's a vast statement. Because sometimes treating a person like they human is gonna be fucking them up.
Hey, for real, you know? for real, yeah.
But that should only come from the measure of who you are. What you see, if you feel like you're in danger and things along those lines, not just because you want what they have or something like that.
And see, that's like going back to what I said earlier, the junk-free Sundays or junk-free Saturdays. We get those doing every other Saturday. We come out from 9 to 11. We talk about the Willie Lynch letter and we break it down, and like where we talk to each other like, hey, these are the things. He used distrust, envy, and fear to rule over black people.
Yeah.
So
the base emotions that in the books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just use that to just control us, and just, this is my approach. Who is my approach. The podcast is my approach. This interview, like these conversations that I have, is my approach for us to, yeah, you may not be able to trust the next black business or however that may be, but you can trust this black business. Like I said, my superpower, being everybody's best friend. Like, I know you're not supposed to mix business and friends, but I know you. Trust me, I got our best interests. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm one of those people, like you said, I want to help. That's if poetry wasn't my thing, if the business wasn't my thing, like, I just be out, I feel like a politician. Like, I just really just want to help people, you know? And that's where I just find a lot of people make it hard to just, what you say earlier, it's an odd place to be against me, because I just asked the question, well, why won't you help? And then just listen to all these excuses. You know, everybody's saying this guy Jeff Bezos about to be a trillionaire, but yet we still got like starvation. Like, it's still dirty water in Flint. Not to say like you got to do anything with your money. That's again yours. But again, it's still like
there's an inherent need out here.
Yeah.
I got you.
And it's just, hey man, that's all. And it doesn't fall like on responsibility just him, but that's just one example. That's all.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think that it's a slippery slope when you think about people that have the power to help things and what they do and what they don't do. Because it starts with us. It starts with the people around you. And it's like, well, you could not help with your little because you have little, then you know what I'm saying? Like, say you don't give even 10%, right?
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, with them, if they don't give even 10%, like, what makes that, you know, that's the thing. But also, it's all by design, too, you know?
True.
This is all by design. The people that, like you mentioned, trillionaire, like the people that do have that, those type of resources and that type of money, they didn't get there by giving it away.
True, yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. So, like, yeah. And with that being said, man, you going to the next episode, y'all check out, we're going to be talking about voting. You ready to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah? How you feel about this election?
I don't like it at all.
I feel that. Are you voting?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Because it's just more so teaser. I don't know about how I feel about I know we have a duty to vote and stuff like that and all that good jazz, but I just feel like, what's the point of having a right if you freely give it away? Like, what's the purpose of being free if you don't know what freedom is?
Yeah.
You know, like again you said, slippery slope. But
yeah, I think it's loaded, man.
Yeah.
And I think for the people that truly feel like their vote doesn't matter, like their voice doesn't count, you really can't be mad at them for feeling that way in the system that we're already in. All you can do is educate them if they're willing to be educated and hope for change, because, like, realistically, they're coming from a place that we are too. And it's like, well, to be like, motherfuckers, like, my voice ain't heard no way. And it's like, well, you got to do something to get your voice heard.
And then turn around, you still got racism, police brutality. So it's like, you yelling one thing, let's do freedom, and I'm just quiet on my freedom. So it's both, you know what I'm saying?
It's like, I'm just saying it's understandable. Like, I understand feeling like your voice doesn't matter. We literally out here saying Black Lives Matter because motherfuckers are getting murdered by the police.
Literally.
So, you get what I'm saying? Like, I could understand, but like, fuck that vote, because motherfuckers have voted plenty of times and niggas still out here getting murdered by the police.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, you really can't be like in the understanding that everybody else is human. It allows you not to get too high or low on that horse. You know, when you fuck up, we human, you know, but when you up high and you have a greater understanding, like, really the greater your understanding, the more that you realize, like, damn, it is more unfortunate than anything else. It's like, rather than offer a judgment, like, realizing, like, say, like, if you know better, you do better, that type of shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, damn, these people don't do better because they don't know better, and it's evident, and that's fucked up. So rather than just be like, them motherfuckers over there fucked up, it's like, damn, what can I do to offer them anything? Offer them anything. Yeah. But if I'm not gonna offer them shit, I won't offer them my judgment. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Real talk,
yeah.
That's 100. That's 100. Hey man, this wrapping everything up, it's been great. It's always it's gonna be a pleasure. I'm gonna have so much more for you to come back and drop more gems on us. Just as a St. Louis native, just let them know we ain't all gang banging and stupids and stuff. We out here. We do our thing.
We out here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes we're out here.
Man, hey man, because of you, I started the whole, I know him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's you. I went to Kansas. Shout out to my Kansas family, Manhattan, Kansas. KSU, y'all amazing. Y'all still doing your thing. Shout out. We doing all the thing. I know him. They like, hey, what you doing? I'm like, it's just St. Louis thing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's you though, bro. But yeah, man, for real, like on some real dude, you really, like, for real, like, get me to be like, I'm finna put my foot to the ground and, like, really, if I'm gonna write, like, I need to come to it like that, like Black Chocolate, like you, like J Love, because it's not, again, like I said, no disrespect, but it's y'all like my competition, but y'all the ones who gonna be judging my writing. Y'all paved the way for me. So it's just like, all right, if I'm finna write something, if I'm finna spit, y'all need to hear everything that I'm finna bring. And it's just like, it's just an honor to just follow up behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, bro. Just mad love to that. So, cause y'all, it 100, man. Y'all said that. I remember my first time seeing you, bro. I was just like, now that dude, like, and you wasn't a Rudy Francisco. You wasn't a Black Chocolate. You wasn't somebody on somewhere that I couldn't see and touch. You know what I'm saying? It was like, nah, this is a real guy. Like, all I gotta do is find the courage just to say, hey man, I do what you do too. Like, look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like going back to what you were saying, your second one, acceptance. Just trying to be accepting to the world of poetry in that realm. Like, y'all just giants in the game. And it's just for you to come out, still be like, not like a regular person, but you just like, yeah, bro, I'm Louis. Like, what's up? You know?
That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's just like, dang, bro, like, and I appreciate you, because it's a certain way how people, you know, St. Louis, we got that culture. I know I said I'm gonna get you out, but it's just all love. It's just a certain way how we perceive things. Give me a second. It's a certain way how, like, we perceive things, and it's just sometimes we be like, oh, bro, you hating ass dude, this and that. But you pulled me aside and was like, hey, bro, you doing good, and told me to believe in my writing, and told me to believe in, like, if you wrote that, you said, bro, you got it. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, damn, bro, and I appreciate how you did it. It was just like, hey, I want to talk to you after. Like, you just pulled me aside, and it was just like, damn. And it wasn't even like in the same room for people to just see us. It was just on the outside. And it was just like, just from artist to artist, I really appreciate that. And then coming up behind you, it's just like, dang, bro, like, on some real, like, not like you're like Maya Angelou, but like, just like, hey, man, I met somebody great too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I appreciate that, bro.
So yeah.
I've never been good with it. I don't think it's ever gonna change. But I really do appreciate it.
It's all love, family. Yeah, everybody. I'm gonna let you go, family. But it's always love, everybody. Again, Louis Conphliction. Where can they find you at? Just more so.
You can find me on Instagram at Loucon3. That's LOUCON, the number 3. You can find me on Facebook at Louis Conphliction. That's LOUISCONPHLICTION. I host a couple different open mics. I host Word Up Online.
Shout out Energy.
Yep, Word Up Online with Energy on Sundays at 6 o'clock. So follow Word Up Online on Facebook. Follow Word Up Open Mic on Facebook. We have the open mic on Tuesdays at Legacy. And I also host Mo Shade Open Mic at Shade Restaurant and Lounge and on North Florissant. That's every Monday. So that's completely free. Come out, have a good time, find me, kick it. But that's 3 days a week that you can find me right now. And we'll see what else changes.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah, everybody. Dangerous Man right here. Bad on the mic. Y'all know me. I'm just the host of one of the most greatest non-profits out there. Y'all know. Well, yeah, we done.
Say no more. Peace and love.
All love. We out.